Xiaomi may be the 5th largest smartphone manufacturer in the world, but can its latest smartphone compete with other smartphones like the One M8, Galaxy S5, or LG G3? I'm Taylor Martin, this is Pocketnow, and this is our full review of the Xiaomi Mi4. One last time, we'd like to thank 28 Mobile for lending us this Mi4 for review. If you'd like a Mi4 to call your own, click the link in the description below or go to 28mobile.com, where you can also browse dozens of other devices and smartphones to purchase. Throughout our time with the Mi4, now approaching 7 days, we've remained impressed by its design and build quality. The key feature of the design is the stainless steel core, which has been precision machined through a 193-step process. This precision is evidenced through the machined holes for the speaker grille on the bottom edge, and even the SIM tray, which is also steel and fits very snugly into the frame. From the front and sides, this phone is beautiful, albeit lacking some imagination. It's been said by many to resemble the newest iPhones and even the Lumia icon, which we won't deny. However, we're not terribly fond of the glossy plastic around back. It makes the phone unreasonably slick while contrasting the high-end steel around the edges. Still, we're very happy with the Mi4's design, and we're happy that the backplates are swappable. More designs and color options will be available in the future. Xiaomi didn't give us much to complain about on the inside either. The Mi4 comes with some of the best specifications you can find in a high-end smartphone today. A Snapdragon 801 with a 2.5 GHz quad-core Quake 400 CPU and Adreno 330 GPU run the show. It has 3 GB of RAM, 16 or 64 GB of storage, with no option to expand, and a non-removable 3080 mAh battery. The primary camera on the Mi4 is a 13 megapixel sensor capable of recording 4K video, and the front camera is an impressive 8 megapixels. One of the most notable features of the Mi4, however, is the display. At 5 inches diagonally with a resolution of 1080p, the IPS LCD bears a respectable density of 441 pixels per inch. Colors pop quite a bit and the black levels are relatively deep. It also has a wide brightness range, stretching from barely visible to painful to look at. It's a gorgeous display, and our only two complaints are how warm it is in comparison to other displays and the side visibility, which seems to taper off at certain angles. In all, the Mi4 is built exceptionally well, and we would go as far as to say it's one of the nicest pieces of Android hardware around today. The Mi4 comes running Xiaomi's own custom version of Android, MIUI, atop Android 4.4.2 KitKat. Our unit shipped with MIUI 5, although 6 is in beta. The first thing we noticed about this version of MIUI on this Chinese model is that it doesn't come prepackaged with Google Play services. No Google Play Store, Gmail, Hangouts, Maps, etc. Instead, it's loaded with Xiaomi's own services out of the box, Mi Market, its own theme store, and a Mi Store app. Fortunately, Google Play services can be unofficially added with minimal effort and without rooting. We did this to install the benchmarking and test applications we use on Android phones. One of the defining features of MIUI is the lack of an application drawer. All applications reside on the home screens. The other differentiator is a very powerful theme engine. Various themes can be purchased and downloaded in the dedicated theme store. These allow users to greatly alter the appearance of the phone's UI, lock screens, home screens, notification shades, and even the settings application. The nitty-gritty features, however, are the highlight of MIUI. The more you dig through settings, the more things you will find to tweak. There are standard features like guest mode and do not disturb, but you can also customize what long pressing a hardware button will do, or how the settings toggles in the notification shade appear, as a bar at the bottom or as a dedicated page. You can also customize what the inline buttons on headphones will do. However, there's a darker side to MIUI, a side that's filled with quirks, bugs, and glitches. We lost count of how many times the phone completely froze and the touchscreen quit working entirely. This usually happened, but wasn't limited to selecting a new theme. Pop-up applications like Link Bubble and the Fill window in LastPass simply didn't work, and applications which required location services regularly could not detect our correct location. As nice as MIUI is on the surface, it's a hot mess underneath, to the point that it's very frustrating to use at times. On the upshot, the Mi4 is a monster when it comes to performance, thanks to the Snapdragon 801 inside. Gaming on the Mi4 has been spectacular with no notable sluggishness or frame rate drops. It slices through normal activities with ease, scrolling is especially smooth, and launching applications happens almost instantaneously. However, some animations seem to drag out things and makes part of the home screen experience feel slower than it should be. This was limited to the home screen, but shouldn't happen on a phone with this much horsepower. Benchmarks show about the same thing. Great scores, but not nearly the highest we've ever seen. What isn't terribly impressive with the Mi 4 is its speaker quality. Positioned along the bottom, sound emitted from the single speaker is tinny, muffled, and just not that impressive.
Jumping onto Zoe for the first time takes you to your own Zoe feed, and here's where the app's new incarnation stands out.
The same goes for call quality, which we won't harp on too much since this is a Chinese model not optimized for use here in the States. Calls were loud and clear, but not remarkable in any way. And speeds, since we've been limited to HSPA Plus here in the Piedmont Triad of North Carolina, have been mediocre. We've averaged 6 megabits per second down and 1.5 megabits per second up. Without proper network optimization, we also can't give solid battery metrics. But we can say, all things considered, we've been very impressed with the battery life of the Mi 4. It comes with a fixed 3080 mAh battery, which easily lasted us around a day and a half of use, with over 4 hours of screen on time per charge. However, we found the battery usage in settings to be unreliable. After playing around 10 minutes of Modern Combat 5, watching some YouTube videos, benchmarking, and browsing the web for our comparison videos, the screen on time was listed as 55 seconds. The 13 megapixel camera around back is about as average as it gets. Its performance in great lighting outdoors is passable. Saturation is a little on the heavy side, which is par for the course in smartphone image sensing, but contrast is a little lower than we'd like. We were happy with more than a few photos taken with the Mi 4, but there were just as many, if not more, that turned out dull, blurry, out of focus, or unusable, especially in low light. The Mi 4 is particularly bad indoors and in low light situations. Images are noisy, dark, and undersaturated. Fortunately, HDR mode worked exceptionally well. We shot a few HDR photos on an overcast day and it made the photo pop with a high contrast without a noticeable halo effect, although it was obviously an HDR photo. And the front camera, despite the higher than normal resolution, isn't all that great. Sure, it's better than most front cameras and has several times the resolution, but the images were washed out and lifeless. We found some competing front-facing cameras to be better than the Mi 4's, despite lower resolutions. So, where does that leave us? Well, the Xiaomi Mi 4 is a seriously impressive handset, especially for the price. Straight out of China, this thing retails for the equivalent of approximately $325, though importing it to other countries will undoubtedly raise the price a bit. The hardware is solid, inside and out, and MIUI has potential. Maybe MIUI 6 will bring much needed stability, but for now, it's the software and its idiosyncrasies that keep it from being a full package. Would we recommend it? If you want exceptional hardware for cheap and can deal with some bugs, absolutely. Otherwise, we'd recommend something a little more reliable and refined, like the G3, One M8, or Galaxy S5. Folks, thanks for watching and supporting Pocketnow. If you enjoyed the video and would like to help us out further, click the thumbs up button below and subscribe to the channel. Follow us around the web, Twitter, Facebook, and Google+ at Pocketnow. I'm Taylor Martin. You can find me on Twitter at CasperTech, and I will see you next time.